Geek Gang, it's time to get sauced up with that Jujutsu Kaisen Movie Zero review. Now, obviously, I'm not in my studio. I'm currently in Melbourne. However, I did get a chance to see the screening last night, and I have thoughts. So, this will be a non spoiler review. If you guys would like me to have a discussion, a spoiler discussion with another fellow creator when I get back to the Gold Coast, please let me know in the chat. He is also an anime content creator here in Australia, and I would love to have a discussion with him about the movie, get his thoughts on it as well, because I was actually supposed to see it with him, but because of work, this is kind of what it ended up happening. So let me know in the comment section, would you like to have more of a discussion about spoilers and stuff like that on another separate video? Let me know. So the Jujutsu Kaisen Movie Zero is a prequel to the series Jujutsu Kaisen, and it focuses around a kid by the name of Yuta. Now, this kid, Yuta, is a special grade, extremely rare, obviously, in the series up to this point in the anime. So seeing his curse is pretty awesome in this movie. And without spoiling what goes on, it's pretty solid, like as far as what the curse is and how the curse comes to be. Now, when we meet Yuta in this story at the very beginning, he's extremely traumatized because he cannot control his curse, and it's leading him down some very destructive moments in his life. And, you know, he essentially gets picked up by the Jujutsu school. Now, here we obviously have him being taught, being coached, being guided by Goat Joe himself. Yes, really dope. And his peers in this school are Maki, Toge, and Panda. So you're seeing kind of like a prequel to their story as well, which is also really, really dope. But the main villain, Geto, he is a piece of work. He is a piece of work and sees humans as beneath him. He sees regular humans to be worth less. He has this idea that, you know, we've evolved. Why do we have to protect them? We should be protecting our own. It almost feels very similar to X-Men in that regard, this idea between Professor X and Magneto. It definitely has that resemblance. Obviously, the tone is very different, but it's an interesting story. Now, voice acting, if you guys have seen the Jujutsu Kaisen series, you guys know how well the voice acting is, and in the movie it delivers on that same level. Very emotional, very dynamic, purposeful, and the comedy in there is also really, really good. So for me, I think in those regards, story, acting, and the comedy writing are really, really high tier. Animation as well. The animation in the actual movie itself is really, really solid. The intro itself is beautifully done. You can tell that MAPPA really took their time with creating a cinematic feel, but it still feels like the anime. I think the trouble that some fans will probably have, and I think I struggle with this as well, is because the anime was done so well on an animation level, the movie doesn't seem to elevate so much higher than the anime, so it doesn't feel as special as it could, in contrast to something like the Mugen Train movie or Dragon Ball Super Broly, where you definitely saw an uptick in quality and in animation. And to be fair, that could also just be a nod into how well the anime itself is animated and the quality that's behind the series, but just something to note. It may not be that, you know, that bump of quality that you would like to see over the anime, but it isn't to say that the animation is bad, because it's actually extremely good. Now, this section kind of brings me to, I guess, my biggest gripe, or my only real gripe of the movie. And to me, it really comes down to the fight sequences in the film. Now, while some of these sequences are really awesome and you get some really cool moments with some of the Jujutsu sorcerers that you may not have really seen put in work in the anime, the choreography within the movie left me feeling underwhelmed at times. And maybe that's just due to the fact that we've seen so many amazing fights in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, and we've had some of the most incredible anime fights in the most, I don't know, the last 5 or 6 years in anime coming from this series. The expectation of seeing what a movie level fight sequence could look like just didn't meet that expectation that I was hoping to actually feel and see in this film. The choreography was pretty solid, but it didn't feel any more special than the anime. While there were some really cool moments and some highlight moments from some special characters and some of our favorite characters, it still didn't feel special enough to me. It didn't feel like something was really awesome popping off, like nothing felt super unique. And again, this could also be a testament to how well the show is animated. And that's the only thing you can really compare it to is its anime counterpart. How well was the fight choreography in the anime? How well were these fights animated in the anime? And is the movie elevated enough to separate itself from that level of quality? And I just don't think that it did. Now, that's not to say that you may not enjoy it, you may not like it. However, for me, I was going into this movie wanting to feel a little elevation of quality when it comes to the action sequences and the set pieces themselves. Now, again, some of these things looked phenomenal. The animation was there. It was the choreography of the fights that just felt me left a little underwhelmed. And I have to keep saying this because Jujutsu Kaisen's first season was so damn strong that you really have nothing else to compare it to but other anime movies that have come out and Jujutsu Kaisen itself. And because Jujutsu Kaisen's first season is done so well, that bar is so high, right? Then you compare it to other movies that have come out that are from animes, like the My Hero movies that have come out recently, the Mugen Train movie, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and you're comparing not necessarily those movies in general, but more so their elevation over their counterpart anime. And the jump from Jujutsu Kaisen to movie zero just doesn't feel as drastic as I would like it to. But again, it's probably because Jujutsu Kaisen's quality is so high. So before we get into my final thoughts, I want to let you guys know there is a post-credit scene at the end of this movie, so make sure you guys do not miss that. People got up and left, and I was like, what are y'all doing, bro? Just wait, just in case. So what are my final thoughts? What are my final thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen movie zero? I'm going to be giving this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was a really good time. It didn't feel too long. Pacing was pretty solid. And again, high quality movie. I really wish that the fight sequences were a little bit better choreographed. And the climax could have been just a little bit better, I think, just to kind of give you a little bit more oomph when you're coming into a movie like this. And for those reasons alone, I'm giving those, a couple notches down. But again, it is an awesome movie, an awesome time in theater. If you guys are fans of Jujutsu Kaisen, please go out and support this in your area. The more anime movies that get support in the States or in, regions outside of Japan, the more they're going to want to do them and release them theatrically. And then as us as fans get to experience those things together in a theater, which is awesome. So if you guys are fans of Jujutsu Kaisen, please go check this movie out in your area. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Have you seen the movie? If you have, what do you rate it in the comments down below? And if you guys want to have me chat with Happy117 about this movie, let me know also in the chat, and we will set that up when I get back to the Gold Coast. But other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Geek Gang, we out this thing.